Hey there guys, Slyfox Kynyo here. So I figured it would be a fun little experiment to do this personality test. I saw them do it on Game Grumps recently, and I was like, you know what, that looks like a fun test to do. And since I felt like doing it, I figured, hey, might as well put it up for the channel and see what interesting kind of conversations we can spin up with this, because I know it's going to touch on some things that may or may not actually cause some in-depth discussions. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So my free personality test, I'll also put the link to this down in the description below if you feel like taking it after this video. So, all right. It takes less than 12 minutes. Answer honestly, even if you don't like the answer. That's going to be the hard one for me. And try not to leave any neutral answers. Well, I'm not neutral in very much anything, as you guys very well know, so that should not be a problem. You find it difficult to introduce yourself to other people. Now, this is an interesting one right off the bat because, you know, as much as I might seem like an extrovert, or as much as I might seem like I like talking, I actually have a very hard time being the first one to go up and say something to somebody I don't know. So I would actually say that it's a relatively strong agree that I don't introduce myself well. As much as I may seem like an extrovert, I'm not good at coming up and saying hi to people. I'm fine if people come up and say hi to me. I just can't do it to others. You often get so lost in thoughts that you ignore or forget your surroundings every goddamn day of my life. You try to respond to emails as soon as possible and cannot stand a messy inbox. Yes, it has to have everything deleted. You find it easy to stay relaxed even when there's some pressure. It depends on the kind of pressure. There's some pressures that I'm like, oh my god, that's horrible, and I can't stay relaxed. And then there are some things that people stress out about that I'm just like, you know, no big deal. You do not usually initiate conversations. I'm going to go with a slight disagree on that one. And the reason is because even though I don't talk to people I don't know, with people I do know, I generally will be the first one to say something. You rarely do something just out of sheer curiosity. So if I disagree, that means I often do things out of curiosity. I don't do things out of curiosity very often, so I'm going to make that a small agree. You feel superior to other people. Yeah, unfortunately, my narcissism does take hold in that one. And as bad as it makes me look, we're answering truthfully here. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. There's a lot of times that I feel like I do things better than other people, and that's just simply because I want to do more. And I don't mean that to come across as like me being an asshole, although I'm sure it will come across as me being an asshole, but that's not the point. I just sometimes feel like I can do better. Not against anyone else. I just want to do better, so I try to make myself do better. I don't know. I'm not articulating this point very well. It's just gonna make me look like an asshole regardless. Being organized is more important than being adaptable. Oh, strongly disagree. You must be adaptable. You must be adaptable to all of your situations, and if that comes at the price of organization, then so be it. You're usually highly motivated and energetic. Drives my life. Winning a debate matters less to me than making sure no one gets upset. Depends on the debate, because usually I'm not going to engage in a debate that I don't feel is pertinent. So I'm going to go with a small disagree, because sometimes winning that debate is important. Or small agree, because I don't like people getting upset. Yeah, I don't like people getting upset more than I like winning debates. You feel as if you have to justify yourself to other people. Obviously, you guys just heard me do that for like a good 15 seconds on last one. My home and work environments are tidy. No. You do not mind being the center of attention. Obviously, I'm a little bit of an extrovert if you guys haven't noticed. I consider myself more practical than creative. Yeah, middle of the road agree. People can rarely upset you. Again, middle of the road agree. It's hard to really upset me. I can get upset easy over some small shit, but usually like it doesn't affect my day. To really upset me takes a good deal of work. Your travel plans are usually well thought out. Small agree. Because I can't do things on a whim usually, but I don't spend a lot of time planning. I just plan often enough to get the point across. It's often difficult for you to relate to people's feelings. Oh, disagree. I try to be as empathetic as possible. My mood can change very quickly. Sometimes. Actually, I'm going to say small disagree, because even though my mood does change a lot, I feel like it's not more than what would be like a human standard, if that means anything. In a discussion, truth should be more important than people's sensitivities. Absolutely agree. A fact is a fact, and if it doesn't matter if you like it or not, a fact is a fact. Like, you can't get around that. You rarely worry about how my actions affect other people. Oh, strong disagree. I worry about other people way too much. Your work style is closer to random energy spikes than a methodical and organized approach. Absolutely. I'm often envious of others. Absolutely. And that's actually a really negative point on mine. And I'm trying to work on that. Like, I'm trying to be less envious of others. But there's a lot that I will look at something and be like, oh, I just wish I could do that or be that. And it drives me to make myself better. But at the same time, I know it's not a necessarily healthy way to go about life. An interesting book or video game is often better than a social event. Oh, absolutely. Being able to develop a plan and stick to it is the most important part of every project. Also, absolutely agree. Which is kind of funny because we're treading this ground of how I'm kind of both organized and disorganized, and this is exactly where it comes from. You rarely get carried away by fantasies and ideas. Middle of the road, disagree. Because I do get carried away, but I try to bring myself back every now and then. You often get lost in thought when walking in nature. Who doesn't? If someone does not respond to your email quickly, you start worrying if you did something wrong. Yes, but I call that anxiety. As a parent, you would rather see your child grow up kind than smart. Small disagree. I don't want a kid to be an asshole, and I would absolutely tear into my kid verbally or, I would adjust their behavior if they were being an intentional asshole. But at the same time, being intelligent has its perks, even if you come across a bit asshole-ish in that intelligence. I don't feel like that's a bad thing. It goes back to that truth versus sensibilities thing. If the truth is the truth, whether or not people's sensibilities can handle it is not the fault of the truth in and of itself. So, there you go. You do not let other people influence your actions. I'm going to say agree. I do things for other people, but I don't let them influence me in it. I do things for me. And then if I'm doing that for other people, then it's also for me and for other people. So I'm going to say agree on that one. That's kind of a weird agree, but yeah. When you sleep, your dreams tend to focus on the real world. Strongly disagree. My dreams are weird as fuck. It does not take you much time to start getting involved in social activities. I don't do social activities in the workplace. So yeah, strong disagree there. More of a natural improviser and a careful planner. I'm going to go with a middle of the road agree. And not because I don't carefully plan, but because a lot of times for things that people consider big deals, I will just jump right into. So that is what it is. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Small disagree. I think I'm in pretty good control of my emotions most of the time. You enjoy going to social events that involve dress-up or role-play activities. Oh, hell yeah. Comic-Con every year. NDK if I can every year. Like, I absolutely adore shit like that. And not just for the nerd culture, I just think it's fun. You often spend time exploring unrealistic and impractical yet intriguing ideas. Oh, of course. It's fantasy. Who doesn't? You would rather improvise than spend time coming with a useful plan. Rather? Absolutely. I would actually, I'm going to slight agree on that one. Because yes, I would, but coming up with a detailed plan is important, so it kind of hits this weird middle of the road thing. Relatively reserved and quiet. No. If you had a business, very difficult to file loyal but underperforming. Disagree. Because if you're not doing your job, I'm gonna have to fire you. Like, that's part of owning a business. You often contemplate the reasons for human existence. Oh yeah. Logic is usually more important than heart when it comes to making decisions. 95% of the time, I would agree with that, yeah. Keeping your options open is more important than having a to-do list. All right, this one's weird. It depends on what you're talking about. Because most things in life, I feel like, should have a ordered, practical, logical reason to do things. So that means I should be over here in the disagree side. But if you get stuck in that, you can miss some really, really good opportunities. So I kind of feel like I should be over here. So I'm going to go small disagree. And I feel like that's the most appropriate, but it's still a very hard one to kind of balance out, you know? If your friend is sad about something, you are more likely to offer emotional support than suggest ways to deal with the problem. Like, I'm all for offering emotional support every now and then, but your first intent should be to deal with the problem. You rarely feel insecure. Disagree. I am insecure all the time. That is actually like one of my main personality traits, I would say, would be my insecurity. You have no difficulties coming up with a personal timetable and sticking to it. Also, strongly disagree. Thank you for anyone who checks my upload schedule. Being right is more important than being cooperative when it comes to teamwork. depends on what you mean by right. Do you mean I think I'm right or I'm actually right? Because those are two entirely different things. If you mean I think I'm right, then absolutely disagree. But if you mean like you are actually 100% right and the other person is 100% wrong, then no, cooperation has no place in there. So I'm going to go middle of the road disagree, because I think they don't mean in the extreme absolutist of you're right and they're factually wrong. I think they mean like you think you're right. So I'm going to go with disagree. You think that everyone's views should be respected regardless. Fuck that. I've already been over this. If your views aren't supported by facts, fuck you. I'm sorry. I'm going to catch heat for that. But no, like, facts are facts whether or not you like them. And I have a very hard time, and I am absolutely 100% sure that I am guilty of this. I am not going to say that I'm not guilty of this. I'm 100% sure that I am. But if your views, or if you have a view that is not supported by facts, you need to adjust that view. You need to. I need to. I'm sure if somebody could come at me with facts that are backed up, scientific papers about my views on any one thing or another, and if they pointed out and said, here's the papers, here's the evidence that you're wrong, I would feel obligated to change my point of view. But maybe that's just me. I'm kind of a hardliner on that one, so my apologies to anyone I offend. You feel more energetic after spending time with a group of people. It depends on the group of people, but usually, yeah. You frequently misplace your things every goddamn day. Just ask Jessica. You see yourself as very emotionally stable. Slight disagree. I was sitting on agree there because it was like kinda, but not really. So I think the but not really, because emotional stability means that like you are like you're golden, you're there, and I'm not. I have a lot that I still need to work on within my own mind. My mind is always buzzing with unexplored ideas or plans. Abso-fucking-lutely. You would not call yourself a dreamer. Of course I'm a dreamer. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't a dreamer. You usually find it difficult to relax when talking. Nope, I love talking in front of people. Generally speaking, you rely more on your experience than your imagination. That's actually kind of neutral. I'm going to go slightly agree because I feel like I'm a little more practical than whimsical, but not by much. You worry too much about what other people think. Oh, fuck yeah, I do. If the room is full, you stay closer to the walls. Of course I do. I am the definition of a wallflower, especially in parties. Which is why if people invite me out, I'm always like, I don't know, because I want to go, but I know I'm just going to stand there with a drink in my hand and not do anything. You have a tendency to procrastinate until there's not enough time left to do anything. Small agree. I do procrastinate, but generally I still try to get everything like of vital importance done. You feel very anxious in stressful situations. Again, it depends on the stress. Like there are some stressful situations that I'm like, I can't handle this, and there are some stressful situations where I'm like, you know what, okay. It says very anxious and in stressful situations. I'm going to go with a small disagree. I feel anxious, but not very anxious, and in not all stressful situations. So tiny disagree, itty bitty disagree. I wish they had like a bubble like right there. You believe that it is more rewarding to be liked by others than to be powerful. I would argue that they are one and the same thing. If you are liked by others, you have all the power in the world. I'm going to give you a small or middle disagree on that one. You have always been interested in unconventional things, and unconventional and ambiguous things. Example in books, art, or movies. Yeah, that's my life is fantasy. You often take initiative in social situations. Now here's a weird one, because I kind of do. Like, I don't greet other people, but if like there's 5 of us and something has to get done, I'm 9 times out of 10 the one that has to do it. So I'm going to go with a small agree on that one, even though it kind of feels out of line as a whole. All right, let's see my results. I am the debater. No fucking shit. An ENTP-T. I am 61% extroverted to 39% introverted, 76% intuitive to 24% observant, 54% thinking to 46% feeling. So I'm more prospecting and I'm more turbulent. So I'm extroverted, intuitive, thinking, prospecting, and turbulent. Okay. Let's see what this says about me. Follow the path of the unsafe, independent thinker. Expose your ideas to the dangers of controversy. Speak your mind and fear less about the label of crackpot than the stigma of conformity. And on issues that seem important to you, stand up and be counted at any cost. I like that. The debater personality type is the ultimate devil's advocate. Yeah, that's me. Thriving on the process of shredding arguments and belief and letting ribbons drift in the wind for all to see. Debaters don't do this because they are trying to achieve some deeper purpose or strategic goal, but for the simple reason that it's fun. Okay, well, that's me 100%. No one loves the process of mental sparring more than debaters, and it gives them a chance to exercise their effortlessly quick wit, broad accumulated knowledge base, and capacity for connecting disparate ideas to prove their points. Okay, I would actually 100% agree with that. An odd juxtaposition arises with debaters as they are uncompromisingly honest but will argue tirelessly for something they don't actually believe in, stepping into another's shoes to argue a truth from another perspective. Oh my god, I've done that way too many times. Playing the devil's advocate helps the debater with personality type not only develop a better sense of others' reasoning, but to better understand of opposing ideas, since debaters are the ones arguing them. This tactic shouldn't be confused with the sort of mutual understanding diplomat personalities seek. Debaters, like all analyst personality types, are on a constant quest for knowledge, and what better way to gain it than to attack and defend an idea from every angle, from every side. I 100% agree. Okay, maybe this is actually much more me. There are no rules here, we're trying to accomplish something. Taking a certain pleasure in being the underdog, debaters enjoy the mental exercise found in questioning the prevailing mode of thought, making them irreplaceable in reworking existing systems or shaking things up and pushing them in clever new directions. I don't know if I would say I'm clever, but okay. However, they'll be miserable managing the day-to-day mechanics of actually implementing their suggestions. Well, that's the truth. Debater personalities love to brainstorm and think big, but they will avoid getting caught doing all the grunt work at all costs. Debaters only make up about 3% of the populations, which is just right, as it lets them create the original ideas and step back to let more numerous and fastidious personalities handle the logistics of implementation and maintenance. Debaters' capacity for debate can be a vexing one. Just ask Jessica. While often appreciated when it's called for, it can fall painfully flat when they step on another's toes by, say, opening questioningly their boss in a meeting or picking apart everything their significant other says. Guilty. This is further complicated by debaters' unyielding honesty, as this type doesn't mince word and cares little about being seen as sensitive or compassionate. Like-minded types get along well enough with people with the debater personality type, but more sensitive types and society in general are often conflict averse, preferring feelings, comfort, and even white lies over unpleasant truths and hard rationality, which is ridiculous because it's the truth, so bite me. This frustrates debaters, and they find their quarrelsome fun burns many bridges, oftentimes inadvertently, as they plow through others' thresholds for having their beliefs questioned and having their feelings brushed aside. Treating others as they'd be treated, debaters have little tolerance for being coddled and dislike when people beat around the bush, especially when asking a favor. Debater personalities find themselves respected for their vision, confidence, knowledge, and keen sense of humor, but often struggle to utilize these qualities as the basis for deeper friendships and romantic relationships. Okay, this is actually getting kind of creepy, because this is actually, like, really me to a T. Oh my gosh. Weird Al, Adam Savage, Sarah Silverman, Mark Twain. Hell yeah, Mark Twain. Thomas Edison. Ugh, I have to be in the same group as Edison. Celine Dion, Captain Jack Sparrow. Hey, I'll be with Captain Jack Sparrow, Jim Halpert, I'm an Irene Adler. The Joker, Tyrion Lannister, fuck yeah. Alright. I am 100% okay with all of these. I know I skipped a section, but that was kind of intentional. Alright, let's move forward. Please? Yes? There we go. Debater strengths: knowledgeable, quick thinkers, original, excellent brainstormers, charismatic, and energetic. I would go with those. I am very argumentative, I am insensitive, I am intolerant. Unless people are able to back up their ideas in a round of mental sparring, debaters are likely to dismiss not just the ideas, but the people themselves. Okay, guilty as charged. Either a suggestion can stand up to rational scrutiny, or it's not worth bothering with. Oh my gosh, yep, that is definitely a pitfall I fall into. Can find it difficult to focus and dislike practical matters. Yeah, okay. Romantic relationships. Show me a satisfied man and I'll show you a failure. From the earliest days, debaters test their partner's limits for this kind of potential, pushing their boundaries and traditions, looking for open-mindedness and spontaneity. Dating debater personalities is hardly a boring experience, and they make use of their enthusiasm and creativity by delighting and surprising their partners with new ideas and experiences. Debaters' idea of fun is often rooted in self-improvement, and people with this personality type bring their partners along the way as much in spirit of sharing as in a spirit of expectation. Debaters see either growth or stagnation and don't buy in the idea of a happy status quo, making them as demanding as they are exciting. And holy hell if that's not me to a T. Because I absolutely 100% agree that growth is the 100... Like, you have to grow. You can't stay the same person all the time. If you stay the same person, you're not fulfilling your potential. And I hold that true for me, as well as for all of you guys, all of the fans, all of my relationships. Like, I think that everyone has room to grow, and I think that's a necessity for life. Apparently, that's just part of my debater spirit. Some may tire in the face of this constant improvement. While debaters' vigor can be attractive, it can also wear down even the most patient partners. A little time to breathe and a chance to rest on one's laurels for a moment is necessary for many people, but not something debaters are likely to appreciate. However, if their unwavering enthusiasm is met in kind, it can lead to a magnificent relationship characterized by its strength, depth, and spark. This one quote right here is one of my favorites of all time. Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration, and that is 100% true. Yeah, alright. Friendships. Debater friends. Loyalty, support, and emotional feedback. These are not what debaters look for in their friendships. Fair enough. The last thing people with the debater personality type want to hear is, "You're right," unless they've absolutely earned the distinction in the heated round of intellectual debate. Absolutely. If they're wrong, debaters want to be told so, and they want every detail of the faults in their logic to be laid bare, partly in their quest for oftentimes arbitrary truth, and partly just so they have to work to defend that logic with counterpoint and parry. And that is also very true. Holy hell. Okay, I actually didn't think this personality test was going to be so spot on, but god damn. It's often easy for debaters to test compatibility with a potential friend. They just need to test compatibility. Debater personalities are quick-witted, and their primary means of expressing this is in the form of arguments and discussions where they will easily spend an entire evening debating an idea that they may not even believe in. The epitome of debaters' friendships is when someone can hold the ground in these arbitrary debates with valid and rational arguments. When you play hard. Yeah. They know how to relax and have fun. It's just that fun to debaters, a bottle of wine, and a discussion about the causes and solution to a European migrant crisis could be described as an evening from hell by many other personalities. You know, I've gotten that, actually, but I am 100% with that debater philosophy. Yes, absolutely. Parenthood, I don't even want to know. Debater parents, be brave, have faith, and go forward. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a better way to do it. Find it, absolutely. Career paths. I mean, I'm a software engineer, so I mean, the value lies on the idea of using it. Hey, gadgets, yep, that's absolutely. Being busy doesn't always mean real work. Ooh, this is a good one. Really, all it comes down to a sense of personal freedom for debaters to know that they are allowed to apply themselves fully to understanding and solving the problems that interest them, without getting bogged down by social politics or trying to figure out what makes other people tick. Routine, structure, and formal rules all feel like unnecessary hindrances to debaters, fuck yeah, and they may find that their best careers yet allow them to engage in their intellectual pursuits on their own terms as freelance consultants or software engineers. Fuck yeah, what did I just say? Totally called it. Oh, Sorry, I did my happy dance. The key for debaters is to have the patience and position that allows for these freedoms to be in an environment long enough that not just their colleagues, but their managers and in time their subordinates recognize what it is they bring to the table. Debaters have exceptional qualities. It is qualifying their achievements and skills that presents the biggest challenge, but once they've got their foot in the door and once they've got a willing ear higher in the hierarchy, the sky is the limit. You know, I feel like that is actually a very interesting point, and I actually am very susceptible to that. Alright, we're going to jump down to conclusion just to read that, and then that'll be it. Debater personality conclusion. Armed with a powerful intellect and vivid imagination, debaters can overcome or outmaneuver obstacles that seem unbeatable to most. At the same time, their many quirks, such as often unconstrained rationalism, lead to many misunderstandings. Oh god, yes they do. I get into arguments all the frickin' time for no other good reason than I said something somebody else didn't like. Those misunderstandings end here. What you have read so far is just an introduction. We have a great deal more to tell you, blah blah blah. Chances are you've accepted that's part of who you are. There is no date of birth gimmick. We did not spy on you. Yeah. Yep, okay, yep, don't really care about the ebooks of the Academy, and I'm not going to spend money to learn any more about my type. But, ENTP. I will absolutely 100% take that, and for now I will paint that on my wall. But as you see, I'm a -T. I'm a turbulent type, so that probably means that I won't be an ENTP forever. It probably means that I'll be an ENTP for a little bit and then change. But this was very fun. I'm actually really glad I did it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do it. And yeah, so go ahead and I'll leave the link to this test down in the description below. So go ahead and take this test for yourself and let me know what you guys get in the comments. And if you feel like sparking a debate, well, obviously, you know, you found the right person. So thank you all very much for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next video. And remember, through gaming, we can change the world. Slyfox out.